So hi everyone, today I'm going to show you a very interesting game between Jonas and Carlsen. This game was played at European Team Championship, so let's quickly jump into the game. So Jonas was white, he started with e4 and here Carlsen went to think and he responded with very interesting knight to c6. This is the ninth most popular move, it's so-called Nimzovich defense. Here knight f3 was played by Jonas, but notice that d4 is a critical move. d5 and e5 can be played, but knight f3 by Jonas. Now d6 was played in the game. Also here black can play e5, which is also a good move, but d6 was played. Now d4, we grab a center, knight f6, knight c3, we protect this d5 pawn, g6 and d5 was played in the game. And in this position Carlsen went back on b8, which seems kind of strange, but the idea of this move is that black wants to play c6 and e6 to break the center. In the game bishop to e2 was played. Now Carlsen developed his dark square bishop on g7, castle castle, h3, and now we have this before mentioned break with c6, a4, so white grabs a space, and a5 was played by Carlsen. Rook to e1 was played. There are some games with bishop to g5, knight a6, rook e1 between Kramnik and Michal Sarin, but rook to e1 was played here. So now knight a6, and this point of this move is that knight wants to jump here on b4, and actually in this position bishop to f1 was played, but very interestingly computer suggests to take this knight here, which is not that common move to exchange bishop for a knight, but actually here it's quite good because after rook take a6, now bishop to e3 is quite strong and white has an advantage. Yes, because of this space here, and white has beautifully developed pieces. But now knight b4 was played. Now bishop g5, bishop d7, queen d2. So white is connecting his rooks. Rook to c8 was played, and in this position, move g3 was played, which was inaccuracy. Here in this position, the best is just to play d takes c6, bishop takes, and now knight d4, and white has an advantage. And after this g3, cd5 was played, ed5, and this was very good move by Carlsen, rook to c5, attacking this pawn here. And now we get very complicated position. Black is slightly better, but what to play here for white and try to defend as best as possible. In the game, Jonas played bishop to e3, which is actually inaccuracy. Carlsen mentioned in his post-match interview that actually knight to d4 is the best move. And let's examine some lines. If knight f takes d5, now knight takes back. Also notice that if we take if other knight takes, now knight b3, a rook takes here and white is better. But let's go on from that line. So now if we take here the knight, rook takes, now we take on e7, a rook takes here, queen e2, now very good move, actually amazing calculation by Carlsen. Queen to b6, as you will see in back further in the line. Now we take a rook, bishop takes, and after this interesting fork, c3, black plays really brilliant move, rook to d3, and the point of this move is that we want to take here with a check, so black is better. The line goes on. Now let's say king h2. So yeah, if we play something move like taking a knight, then check, and king here, but now rook can go here, and actually black is better here. So let's return. So yes, here king to h2 can be played. Now bishop h6, but now also f4 can be played. And yeah, and it's really complicated. Actually here computer suggests just taking here, and if we take just knight to d3, looks very strange. Okay, can we take here? Now bishop f4, which is amazing. If we take here, then this is slight problem where to go. As you can see, if king goes here, then this will be checkmate. So queen to f3 is the actually only move, but now g5. So where king can go? Let's go here. But now this would win a queen. So yeah, amazing calculation, of course, by Stockfish. But also Carlsen calculation was very good until some point, but he didn't go further into the line. But anyway, bishop to e3 was played in the game, so not knight d4. Now rook takes on c3. It's quite common rook sacrifice, especially in Sicilian games. Here pawn takes, also possible was to take with a queen. Now we take there on d5, queen b3, and bishop to f5 can be played. But pawn takes, knight e4, so not taking here. Taking here is also fine, but after c4 white is fine, so even better is knight to e4, queen c1. Now we take a pawn. Also notice that rook is under attack behind this bishop, so bishop to d4 is the best move. Now we take another pawn. Now Jonas took the bishop, king takes, bishop c4, and e6 was played. Also notice here in this position, it's also possible to capture this pawn on h3, queen d2, e6, rook a3, and queen f6. Now we take knight takes, and knight d4. So white has some active play, but black is better. So let's return. e6 was played. Now we take a knight, and here d5 was played. Actually way better than to take with the knight, because if we take with the knight, now c4 is quite good for white, and it's a relief. So after pawn takes, knight d4 was played, queen f6, another good move by Carlsen, queen e3, rook c8, so rook is entering the game, black is better, rook a3, attacking the knight, knight e4, rook d1, rook to c4. So yeah, also possible was to take the pawn here, but Carlsen didn't want. Knight to e2, and from now on, actually Carlsen starts making some mistakes. Here he played rook c2, which was a mistake. The best move here recommended by computer is to play bishop to c6 and guard this pawn, and then maybe try to play some knight g5 and threaten black here. So just keeping solid position and go for a little bit slower attack. But after this rook takes to c2, now there's very nice move. We take on d5. So as you can see now, this pawn wasn't protected, so white has some counterplay. Knight c5, knight d4. And here rook to b2 was played actually, but also fine is rook to c4. And now queen to e1, very strong move, so we attack this pawn. And actually in this move, there's only one move that keeps a draw for black, which is very hard one, king to f8, and let's say rook f3 and queen to e7. Notice that the reason for king to f8 was that we can play queen to e7 and we can recapture the queen after rook to f3 with a king. So that was very important point. But after this, bishop to c6, yeah, there was very beautiful move now by Carlsen, queen to f3. And notice that this queen lacks some squares. Where to go with this queen? Let's, for example, consider this line. If we go to d8, now we take here, b c3, rook c5 takes, and queen to e5 is actually winning a rook. So after rook to f3, Carlsen didn't have any other option than to just to sacrifice full queen. So he took a rook on d5, rook f6, king takes. But now in this position, yes, Jonas finds really brilliant move. You can pause the video and try to find the best move for white. Yeah, the best move here is amazing, knight to f5. Really amazing move. So what is the point of this move? Yeah, the first point is that it clears this diagonal for queen to check on c3. So let's now consider some knives. If here in this position, let's say rook to b3 is played, now we just take on d6 and white is better. Also notice that this check doesn't work on e7 because after king takes f5, g4, king f4, and we don't have this check on e3 because the rook is guarding the third rank. But okay, let's go to the main line. What happens if king takes, which actually happened in the game. But now there's very beautiful move, g4. And also notice now that, of course, black cannot go here, here, and here because queen is here. So the only squares he has left is this, and this. And if he goes here, we do this check, so winning a rook. If he goes here, then we do this check, also winning a rook. And if he goes here, which happened in the game, we also win a rook with queen to c3, check. King e6, and now queen takes rook. So this position is winning, but it's not that easy still. Black has strong pawns on queen side, and white is left with a queen. Yeah, so two more pawns and two pieces, which is actually like 2. This is worth 6, so, and this is worth 2, so 8 towards 9, which is not that great advantage. If there were no pawns here, yeah, white would easily win. Also notice this pawn is hanging, so not that easy still. Now bishop to b3 was played. Here black can also take here, but queen e2, king d7, check, bishop there, and queen a5, and white has even more winning chances here. So not the best move to take there. But bishop b3 was played. Now queen e2 check, king d5, queen f3, king e6, and here in this position, Jonas made a mistake which cost him a full point. He played g5, and he was in time trouble, but this is positional mistake, because now the idea in this position is to grab this pawn on h7, trying to go with the queen here, and then play h4, h5, and create paste h pawn. So the right approach here instead of g5 would be like queen e3 check. Now king d7, now queen enters here, so we are going for this pawn. Knight takes pawn. Now we take on h7, knight c5, and here this pawn is marching, h4, but also black pawn is marching, a4. So yeah, Jonas would have to calculate all of this, which isn't that easy. h5 takes, a3, queen goes to this diagonal to stop the pawn, a2, h6, and here very good move, knight to d3. The idea is to go here and block a queen, so queen to a1 has to be played. Yes, h7 here is a huge mistake, because knight e5, queen, and king to h2, bishop d5, and yeah, black is winning. So let's go back. So after queen to a1, knight e5, but now we h7, knight g6, and we promote, takes, and actually this is quite easily winning. So white is a full queen up, and also king will go into the game, and it will try to collect all of these pawns. Also notice that yeah, king is in kind of trouble, so This is not that hard to win. But as it happened in the game, g5 was played, king d7, now h4, king c7 was played, now h5, so takes, queen takes, b5 was played in the game, so very good move by Carlsen. Now we take, king b6, queen to e2 was played, a4, queen e8, a3, check, king a5, queen check, king b4, b6 was played, a2, b7, knight takes, queen takes, king c3, and white only now has a perpetual check, queen a7, king b2, check, king b1, check, king b2, check, king b1, check, and king to b2. So very fascinating game, very good played. Yes, Jonas was a little bit unlucky, but also Carlsen, because he played really good game. He was better, but then he blundered he played some very bad moves in the middle game. So guys, thank you for watching this video as always, and please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye.